Hey, we're back to another exciting episode of Attacker Productions. Today, Bancroft, as you can see, being joined today by Jake and Fluff.
What's going on, y'all?
What's up, beautiful people?
And today, kind of how we talked about the other day, we want to kind of do more of engaging with new releases or just interaction of certain things and just kind of have more of a one-on-one conversation with you all. So if you like this stuff, let us know in the comments and we'll kind of do more of this. Possibly not as long as this one, and hopefully this will be a little more concise. We are going over Friday through Sunday's reveals of cards. And like I said, something you like, let us know. We'll do maybe every 2 days, something like that. It's just a little bit harder to do every single day of reveals. So, there's buttons down below. You know what to do. Click them. All right. We'll start with kind of one of the giveaways they gave away at this most recent San Diego Con, which was the Son Goku leader. Which I find this card very interesting. I like a 10k crit leader, but you do not get a draw on this one. Your leader has to be on its backside facing up in order to get a draw.
Yeah. When this card attacks, if your opponent's leader's back is facing up, draw one card. So this will be good against decks that like awaken early.
For sure. Which I know like a lot of decks we've seen in this next format will have quick awakenings to them.
This really looks like one of those draft box leaders, so I'm not sure what product this is intended to come out in. I think it is really interesting.
I think it was an attempt to kind of redo that old draft box leader because it is considered all other colors as well, or it's treated as other colors. 4 life, draw 2, and when you flip it over, you now have the SSB Son Goku, which maintains its permanence, and the auto is still, when this card attacks, draw 1 card, and then additionally, if your opponent's leader's backside's facing up, it gains crit, which means it is always going to have crit, which is pretty awesome. And that part I do like. Just it's really hard to get to the awaken. You need to take that damage or be able to self-awaken.
I think Bandai is really afraid to push these multicolor leaders, and if like Magic the Gathering really informs this game at all, it tells us that like multicolor cards need to be pushed a little bit in order to like be as consistent. Like the power gain you get from multicolor is worth the consistency you lose from like a monocolor. So I really wish they would have gone a little bit more dangerous on this leader and given it another effect or an alternate awaken condition or something to maybe modernize it a little.
Yeah, this leader is incredibly vanilla for the most part. I mean, the only thing that really stands out about it is the fact that it does have crit. Even the fact that it counts as red, blue, and green on top of being a mono yellow leader doesn't really do enough for me to get me excited about this card. And that's why I wonder if this is going to be a leader that they're going to include in some draft box. There was no context into what this leader would be included in when it came out, so I'm not really sure.
Like I said, if I recall, this one they gave this one away with a handful of other cards. I think just kind of testing the new vibe because it does come with, or at least it. So SSB Son Goku's surmounting the impossible. If our correct is a Z-awaken for this particular leader, or just in general any Son Goku BR card that's yellow. It is 1 to do the Z-awaken with 2 extra cards, and if your life is 2 or less. But it has crit. It's treated as all colors. When this card attacks, draw 1. What's up?
Was that leader considered Goku BR?
Yes. Because it's
okay.
the Broly outfit.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It draws 1, gets a power boost, and activate battle for 1 energy if you have a Vegeta BR Z battle card in play. This card also gains double strike, which is pretty cool. I don't think we've seen what Vegeta is going to be yet. Yep, it's this black one right here. This one is a Vegeta BR, which you can incorporate in this deck as well. And if your leader is Son Goku BR Z leader, it gains a 10,000 power boost and double strike, making it 15k double strike. And like I said, this makes your leader even better. So this is kind of the trade out for the promos, and I've seen people already trying to sell this one on the Facebook market. So
this is it's a 6 Z energy cost investment, which to me seems pretty expensive. Just for a 15,000 double strike, and then the leader is going to be 20,000 double strike on that Z-awaken side.
Yeah, so for 1 energy to do Z-awaken to 1 energy activate to battle, it becomes a 20,000 25 double strike crit.
Yeah, so 25 double strike crit. So I don't know. That seems really like I actually like the Z-awakened leader. This Vegeta, though, I'm not entirely sold on.
Yeah.
It just seems a lot to give something 10,000 double strike when you're, considering having to combo 3 additional cards off your hand.
Yeah, this is nice where you can add a life and draw a card to kind of like get a little bit of gas back. But I'm not sure if this is better than something like Saiyan Kaba or like one of those old school cards like that.
I mean, technically it's not, because in order to get that Z-awaken effect for the permanent, your leader has to be a Z leader, which won't occur until your life is 2 or less. But when it's played, it does. You place one card from the bottom of your hand. Place one card from your hand to the bottom of your deck, and then you add to one card from your life to your hand. And you draw one. So
this could help you get into that 2 life range in a more controlled kind of way, which I can see really good. I just don't see it being competitively viable. Could be wrong, but I don't see it being competitively viable.
So going on to another one they mentioned. They mentioned this one at the beginning of their video. They kind of finally showcased it. They only really showed us the front side, which is the very first promo card ever made for the card game, if I recall correctly.
Yes.
So when the card attacks, draw 1, and send this. And this card gets 1,000 power for the turn for each card in your energy. Now it does specify regular energy, not Z energy, so it's just whatever you have in your normal energy area. Awaken is 3 or less, or you have 4 more energy. You may draw 1 card, switch to one of your energies active mode, and then add up to 1 blue god card from your drop area to your Z energy. So it helps kind of replenish or helps boost the Z energy area without having to worry about any form of comboing, which is pretty nice.
And then we did get the backside for this leader, didn't we?
We did, and the backside is Super Saiyan Blue Son Goku returns. Permanent, if you have 7 more energy, this card gains crit, which I think the original one had that as well. But the auto, I think, has been adjusted where when this card attacks, you draw 1 card, and this card gets plus 1,000 power for the turn for each card in your energy and Z energy. And additionally, if you have 5 or more energy, this card gains double strike for the turn, which is pretty great. So which means
I would really like to see some type of ramp come out to supplement this, like maybe a Unison or a Z battle card that is going to facilitate some form of ramp for this leader.
Probably as Xenopets Blue probably the best option for the ramping purposes. No, that energy goes away though.
So yeah, you'll have 7 energy long enough to attack and get crit, or long enough, you'll have 5 long enough to get double strike. But hopefully there's more support for this. Fluff is right. Otherwise, I think it's a really decent leader for people to learn the game with when games are going really long, like you and a friend are just playing with whatever cards you have. But I think this falls into the same trap that the first leader did, where I don't see it being like super competitive in any way.
Yeah. Like you mentioned, without some form of objection, no one's getting to turn 7 unless you're playing SS4 Vegeta.
Yeah, it's you're not going to get 7 energy to get that crit. Even in the early stages of the game in set 1, that leader was not particularly viable for that reason.
So a lot of the cards that we're going to be looking at today are these Z leaders and Z battle cards. Do one of you guys want to explain how the Z system works for people that maybe haven't seen the trailers and just kind of watch like our videos and other channels that maybe take it for granted that they already know what it means?
So what it breaks go ahead, Fluff.
No, go for it.
So what it breaks down to is that Z energy is when you combo a card off once per battle. When your combo cards go to the drop area, well, it hasn't been specified where they're going, but when they leave the combo area, you can take one, put it into your Z energy area, and then you can use the Z energy area as part of additional cost. Some cards will have the cards number on the cards, and they are in your Z deck, which only has up to 7 cards in that Z deck. But you pay
like an extra deck from Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yes.
Yeah.
So you pay the normal energy cost, you pay the Z energy cost, and then they're played, or they're potentially being awakened on top of the leader as long as you hit the criteria for said leader.
So it looks like this Z leader Okay, let's look at a Z battle card. I have one more question. Okay, so it looks like this Z battle card doesn't have any power at all, or any combo power at all. So if this gets put into your hand from a card effect, do we know what happens yet?
It's removed from the game.
When it removes when Z cards, Z battle cards, or Z leaders leave their area, they're removed from the game.
Oh, okay, interesting. And then, so the cards that are going to the Z energy area are any Z battle card or any battle cards you combo with, not just Z cards.
Correct. They have to be battle cards because you can't combo X cards, unfortunately. So like when you see people do Sensor Bean and they put it in the combo area, technically Sensor Bean is not a combo card. It is just being given as a power boost. Same thing as I think cease to exist. I think it just gives the battle card plus 5,000. So it's not necessarily giving it a combo. It's just boosting its own power.
Yeah. So in the case of this SS Blue Vegeta surmounting the impossible, it has an unspecified cost of 1, and then it costs you 3 Z energy. So after you've accumulated 3 Z energy, you would pay 1 energy, place 3 cards from your Z energy into your drop area, and then play this card.
So that's a bit misleading, unfortunately. It shows you 3 cards, but you only go by the number that's on the card. So in this case, it's just 1 Z energy card.
Oh, it's 1 Z energy, my bad.
It is 3 cards, and that's where it kind of throws off the idea of like how many cards it's supposed to be. Because even the leader we looked at earlier as well, it has 3 cards there, but it only shows number 2.
Yeah.
So just kind of pay attention to those.
I didn't even notice the number on those, honestly. Yeah. So that's funny.
So moving over, we're kind of touch basing more on just the promos right now. So I'm going to kind of knock the promos out of the way. And maybe we'll do the starter stuff in a separate video. So we're trying to keep this video concise for you as the viewers. And like I said, if you guys like this, let us know. So the first one I want to kind of bring up, I'm actually excited for this, if I read it right. Videl, daughter of the world champ. 1 red energy and then 2 Z energy. Unique auto, if there is 1 or more red Earthling card in your Z energy, when this card attacks, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, 15,000 power or less, and KO it. And this card gains 10,000 power for the turn, which is pretty cool. So normally it's a 15k, becomes a 5k, becoming a 15k, and then also KOs another card just because you're attacking, which is pretty cool. As long as that set card is 15,000 power or less.
Yeah, the Videl's not bad. And again, these are unspecified as to where these promos are coming from. We don't know if these are tournament pack promos or if there's going to be another way to get these.
I'm hoping there's another way to get these. I know, like I said earlier, some of these were already passed out at San Diego Con, and I'm not sure if that was kind of like a special for that, or if we're going to get special packs later. I haven't looked into that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We got one for what I assume would be for the Trunks deck as well. My Futures Possibility. 1 blue energy, 2 whatever. And then if you have 1 or more future Trunks card in your Z energy, when this card attacks, it gets a plus 10,000 power, so making it 15k, which is pretty nice. But activate main once per turn. If there are 1 or more Trunks future cards in your Z energy during your opponent's next turn, the first time they attack with a battle card with energy cost of 5 or more, negate the attack at the start of the battle's offensive step, which is very interesting to phrase it that way, because typically when you negate an attack, it happens when they declare it. And then it goes, so it's declare attack, counter, autos, offensive step. So pretty much you're going to be able to get through the counters and autos if you want to do a counter as part of this. And then it will negate the attack will end once it gets to their offensive step, so they cannot combo at that point.
It's very interesting that it leaves you open to use counters, even though it's going to negate the attack. Fluff, what's your immediate thought on this card? I don't really know how to feel about it, just looking at it.
My immediate thought about this card is that this card is designed as a bullet for something, or it's got to do with a card that we haven't seen that is going to be included in the Trunks starter deck, most likely. Like some counter that does a thing but doesn't necessarily negate the attack.
Yeah, we don't have this for blue yet, if I recall correctly.
I think Future Hope Slash is a card that is like in the counter window, but might not negate the attack.
Future Hope Slash returns a card back to the hand, so it's like returning. It's like countering. So I really think that there's going to be something within that archetype that this Mai will synergize with. At least that's my hope.
And I'm also curious if, because there was a hit from set 16, if I recall correctly, if it's in rest mode, if your opponent attacks, I think discard 2 cards, something like that, or negate the attack, when they declare an attack, if I recall it, that doesn't open a counter window because that's part of it. And if they pay the cost, then you go to counter window. This kind of allows it to go into a position where you can do that. So, going towards green, we got the Piccolo's Master's Teachings, 1 green. Auto limit 1. If a leader card is green and has Gotenks in its character's name, and you discard 2 cards from your hand, when this card is played, play up to 1 Gotenks Fusion from your deck, then shuffle your deck after, or just shuffle your deck. And then auto with return, switch this card to rest mode. When you attack with a Gotenks card with energy cost of 5 or more, choose up to 1 card in your opponent's battle area and use it in a combo in your combo area. Choose up to one of your opponent's battle card.
Yeah, you combo with one of your opponent's battle cards.
That's really cool.
Yikes.
Yeah. And I'm interested to see what that the Gotenks that it specifically mentions. Yep. I don't know if that's a Gotenks that we already have, or if it's something that's coming down the line.
So I'm actually agreeing with you on my part that these are promos to go with the starter deck to some degree, because we are getting the new Gotenks deck. This is definitely going to be benefiting to that.
I think Fusion Confusion, I may have seen a picture of it somewhere online. I don't know if it's been officially revealed, but it looks like Fat Gotenks, like when he messes up the fusion.
Yeah.
And I'll do some looking in our, I think we have in our Discord all the pictures there. If I see it, I'll put it up on the video, which is actually a free fusion, which I think is pretty cool. We'll maybe talk about that later when it actually gets the official reveal. The next one I want to talk about, I actually absolutely love. Oolong. Green is good. This is obviously 1 yellow, but activate. So it's unique. Activate main once per turn. Choose to 1 battle card in play, ignoring barrier. This card's power becomes the chosen card's power at the time you choose it with this skill. And at the start of your opponent's at the start of your opponent's turn, this card's power becomes 4,000 again. What's great about this card is that if they've played a secret rare and it's in rest mode, you can just go 1. I will choose that battle power, so now it's 40,000, and you can just swing into the secret rare if you want to, and now it's kind of like an even playing field for combo. Or if you just pay 1 energy to go for a game with this card, like you pick like the 30,000, you paid 1 energy and 2 Z energy just to get this card on the board, and all of a sudden it's potentially a 30,000 or 40,000 card swinging into your opponent's lead, and you spend 1 energy for that. That's fantastic in my opinion.
One thing that I find incredibly interesting about these cards is the wording on these cards are very different than wordings that we've traditionally seen throughout the game. So I think this may be Bandai's way of introducing particular forms of problem-solving card text that we've been lacking in cards before, because it's very deliberate about when it gains the power and how long that power lasts. And if we read back into that, specifically the My card, it tells you at what point in the battle it negates the attack.
Yeah.
Yes, this is something Bandai has been needing to do for a long time, and I'm really glad that you picked up on that, Fluff, because I really hadn't yet. A lot of the ways like things are ruled and like when things happen can be kind of ambiguous because of the sometimes ambiguous wording on cards, and I really appreciate the clarity of the wording of these reveals. I hope this continues, even if it means cards have less complicated effects, because you can only put so much text in a text box. I'm okay with that as long as the game overall becomes easier to play, because that will bring more people in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I actually missed one. This one goes with the one we mentioned earlier, which is kind of like the reboot to the Son Goku for our very first promo. It is the Z-awakening for that particular card. So Ultra Instinct Son Goku, Limitless Awakening. It's crit, double strike, which is pretty cool. Z-awaken is 1 blue energy, and if your life is 3 or less, and you have 7 or more energy, like I think they're going to get some form of hopefully rampage back to some degree. Maybe it'd be leader lock to some degree or something like that, because like it's gonna be really hard to get to 7 energy unless you're playing just a lot of negates in your deck.
Yeah.
Well, everyone's gonna have hatch, so I mean, you're gonna potentially everyone's gonna have hatch now. So
you're gonna get at least 1 more energy than you normally would.
Yeah.
But and your leader has to be Blue Son Goku. But when this card attacks, draw 1 card, and this card gets plus 1,000 power for the turn for each card in your energy and Z energy. Auto with return for 1 blue. Place one of your Z energies in its owner's drop area. When your opponent attacks with a battle card, negate that. Oh wow!
Yeah.
So like, that's really cool as well. I like that a lot. Just giving you an extra way of negating just by spending 1 energy and just getting rid of Z energy. That's pretty cool. No cards from your hand.
Yeah, this is a really cool Z-awakening, and I think this card is kind of the idea of what, to me, solidifies and standardizing Z leaders should be. You know, it's 20,000, it's crit, it's double strike. It still draws you a card. It gains more energy based on the number of Z energy and area energy that you have. Plus, it brings another effect to the table that is incredibly relevant that the leader otherwise wouldn't have.
I want to phrase this real quick. In order to get this card on board, you have to already be at 7 energy. If I have 7 energy on a non-Beerus deck, and I can't beat you, and you have to go to turn 8, I might be a little scared. So I'm really curious what we're getting to help with this this leader.
Yeah.
Blue's got a ton of ways to restand energy anyway, so once you get to the 7, I feel like you'll be okay, but I think I'm in agreement with both Bancroft, where I hope that this deck has access to some kind of ramp, and I agree with Fluff, where this Z leader seems much more worth it than the yellow one we looked at, even if the yellow one's a little bit easier to actually cast.
Yeah.
That pretty much covers like all of the promo cards that were showcased and revealed, and I think even a lot of these, like I said earlier, were passed out, which is pretty cool. Kudos to anyone who happened to grab those. Like I said, I saw them on the Facebook Market already. It's tempting. I'm gonna hold off just to see when we can actually get access to them. And with that being said, thank you for tuning in. Like I said, if you enjoy this content, let us know. We'll do more of this. I'll pass it off.
Absolutely. As always, read your cards, know your plays. Let us make the mistakes so that you don't have to, and fluff out.